Years ago, there was a little boy who dreamed of rocketing to the moon, landing on the crumbly rock and walking across the Sea of Tranquility. Every night he hoped that astronauts would find a way to land there and walk where he had dreamed of walking, and eventually, one cloudless night, they did. A magical celebration of the 40th anniversary of the moon landing. The Sea of Tranquility. I'll show you the pictures as best I can as I go along. Years ago, there was a little boy who had the solar system on his wall. Late at night, he'd lie in bed with Rabbit, and they'd watch the planets spinning around the sun. Mars, the tiny space tomato, Saturn sitting in its frisbee rings, freezing Pluto, turning slowly in the dark, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Venus, Mercury, and Earth. But of all the weird worlds that whirled across his bedroom wall, his favourite was the moon, a small and bald and ordinary globe of rock that looped the loop its way through out of space. He leant across the windowsill at night and watched the moon slide up into the sky above the biscuit factory. He borrowed Dad's binoculars and gazed for hours at the empty deserts and the Rocky Mountains, and it made him dizzy just to think he was looking at another world 200,000 miles away. He got an atlas of the moon for Christmas, and he read it like it was a storybook. He dreamed of going there, of rocketing across the cold black miles and landing on the crumbly rock. He dreamed of visiting the craters in the atlas, Prosper Henry, Colprath, Zach. He dreamed of driving in a flat-tired moonmobile across the Bay of Windows and the Sea of Rains. What's he imagining? He kept a scrapbook called The Journey to the Moon. Inside were photographs of rockets taken from Cape Canaveral and astronauts in pumped-up suits and fishbowl helmets, floating in the zero gravity around their little metal rooms. He borrowed library books and read how astronauts had orbited the Earth and walked in space, how they'd flown around the moon itself, and every night he hoped and hoped that one day they would find a way to land and walk across the tiny world where he had dreamed of walking, and eventually, one cloudless night, they did. He couldn't sleep. Midnight had come and gone, and he was wide awake and standing at the window in his dressing gown, because two astronauts were walking on the surface of the moon, 200,000 miles above his bedroom. At 3 a.m. he went downstairs and turned the television on, and there they were on the flickery screen, bouncing slowly through the dust in a sea of tranquility, like giants in slow motion. He stayed awake all night and went to bed at dawn. The sun was coming up outside his window and the moon was fading fast. He fell asleep, and in his dreams he walked with them. That little boy was me. I'm older now. The solar system wall chart fell to pieces long ago, and Rabbit, who is older too, no longer follows me around, but sits beside my desk and watches while I work. Yet still, on cloudless nights, I sometimes sit by my bedroom window, staring at the tiny distant world. I think how cold and dark it is up there. No wind, no clouds, no streams, no sky, just rocks and dust. I think how nothing ever moves, year after year. And then I think of those two astronauts and how the prints they made with their big boots will still be there tonight, tomorrow night, and every night for millions of years to come. And there we have it. The beautiful story, The Sea of Tranquility. I hope you enjoyed it, children. Until next time, take care.